Hello and welcome back to another devlog on the things I've been working on, from my stock model instruments to my editor tools to, once again, working on a game. Hope you guys had a happy new year. It has certainly been quite a December for me, even without considering current events. I work retail as a manager, so I've been working through the good old retail hell of December. I started up a second day job actually as a stock associate for a different store with my girlfriend. Thankfully, I don't have to handle customers in that job, so it's not socially exhausting and the extra money is helpful. And now that store isn't renewing their lease, so I'm out of a second job now. I thought about jumping right back into devlogs right on the 26th, and then I realized I'm exhausted. So I pushed back my deadlines to just kick back and relax. Since art is calmer than programming for me, I've been modeling a little more to get my work ethic back in check. For my instrument packs, the plan right now is just take it one step at a time. With 3D art, I feel that I can break up the process into specific steps that I have to be in a specific mindset to be in. The first being constructing the base model, which includes the creative balancing between realistically correct and polycount correct. For me, that step takes the longest, and I have to be a bit more focused. After that, it gets way easier and relatively the same step every time I do it. So I got an idea I want to try. What if I just did that first step for every asset, so I'm always in the same focused mindset? Then do the rest of the steps all at once in one giant batch. If it works, I can adapt this to Plant Game's assets. If not, I'll just do this one by one, the way I usually do it. But I'm really hoping for this batch workflow. Speaking of Plant Game, I think it's time to reintroduce actual game development back into my devlogs. I did some thinking, and I think the best approach is to start back up with a clean plate. So let's just do a quick setup. Made my empty project, I prefer that to the templates. Added in some file organization. Added in URP, wait a minute. I was told there's ambient occlusion. Okay, so my bad, I got Unity 2020.1.2 confused with 2020.2.1. So give me a moment. So I redid all those other steps in a clean project, upgraded URP to the right version, changed the color space to sRGB to linear, removed collaborate, added in Cinemachine, Odin Inspector, and Jammo from Mix and Jam as a prototype character that I can use. Added back in collaborate since Jammo and its two scripts made some errors tied to collaborate pop up, so I added it back in. And then I removed it, and then it works. Anyways, I did some digging into Jammo's code to get a good idea on how it ticks. It's well documented with comments, and it's nice already having a started character that's ready to go with an animator. I was hoping for an animation-based mover and not a character controller component. Oh well, but this is great for a prototype. Only thing I needed was a collider, and I'm set. I would love if Unity had a physics placer to spread out objects, like Unreal. There kind of is. There's physics.simulate. Here's the catch. I was hoping I could call that individually on objects, but it affects everything, as long as it's not kinematic. So, new plan. Get everything in the scene, make a list of everything non-kinematic, subtract the selected ones, then change them all to kinematic. As you can guess, this is very destructive and has a lot of room to go wrong, so it'll need some safeguards, and fortunately, I'm the only one that's going to use this for right now. But I'll work on those safeguards later. For now, I've got to go to bed because I've got something to do in the morning. So most of my day was spent on getting a COVID test and waiting on the results. I couldn't really focus on work, so I just did some house chores I've been slacking on. Fortunately, I'm negative, and boy does that relieve a lot of stress. So let's do a polish pass on that physics tool. First things first, I got those safeguards I was wanting to put in, and then I got undo working so I can resimulate for a better look. I wasn't sure if simulations had a degree of randomness, especially since so few rigid bodies are in play. Another thing I found out is that rigid bodies can have a default velocity. I always figured that they could only start from a standstill, but I guess the more you know. I also cleaned up the UI a little bit. A few days have passed. I had to get back to my day job since my test came back negative, and I had to pick up a bed frame with a friend and her truck. And it just so happens that she's helping with Plant Game as well, on a commission basis. And that commission was way back in October, and she did a stellar job. So stellar that I knew if I commissioned it, it'd motivate me to push through Christmas retail hell and eventually return back to Devlogs. I've got to make sure I can work with that concept as best I can. Later, because I'm just doing a prototype right now, along with the stick of ham that I made. And let's give that ham some functionality as well. But first, there's something I need to check out first. If the new input system is working out better for me. And with some fingers crossed and a practice tutorial because I forgot how to set up this thing, it's working finally. So now I can add in picking up, storing, and throwing designated items in a way that I feel is a lot better to program. I think this will be how you feed the plant, destroy other items, and maybe even other things. My aim is to connect multiple mechanics so the player can experiment to win the game. And with that, I think it's time to call it for this devlog. We've gotten a lot done for this one, and even more importantly, set up a solid foundation for both long-term projects. With that, I hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one in 2 weeks.